All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So today we're going to be looking at what happened basically to the rest of the world after World War One happened. Okay, this is the post-war. Okay, we're mainly going to be focusing on Germany and France. What happened between these places and stuff like that. Okay, because there's some bad blood between these guys. Okay, so here is your warm-up picture. Okay. All right. So the question's asking you, what is this artist trying to say about the Allies and Germany? Now, if you have your phone, it might be hard for you to see, but the guy in the middle, his shirt right here across his chest says Germany. So that's a German. And if you look at the hand that's kind of like pressing against his back, it says Allies. So based off what you see, and more likely what that hand is doing, what do you think? What does it look like? Okay. So think about it, write your response, pause the video because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So the United States President Woodrow Wilson, he knew that a World War One peace settlement would be really unfair, to some countries. And that would cause some countries to be like, well, how come they got less punished than us and we didn't even start this war? We didn't even do this or that, you know, and that may cause one country to attack another country. So to avoid this, he thought about creating a League of Nations, where if you attack one of these countries, you attack the whole group. Basically, the other group will come out and um, defend the ones who were attacked. Okay, so think of it like if you have a little brother, sister, things like that. If someone hurts your little brother or sister, your other siblings, your older siblings, your cousins, some of that, you guys are going to go and protect your little, your little sister or brother, whatever it is, right? Because that's what family does. That's basically what the Sling of Nation was. It was like, hey, we're all together, and if someone attacks one of us, they attack all of us. All the rest of us are going to join in and basically fight that other group. So that basically made the other countries go, ooh, we should not attack this country because they got a lot of backup. Okay. So many European nations love this idea. They're like, oh my God, this is so great. That's so smart. This will take care of a lot of problems. Problem is, the people in the United States didn't like this idea because they were like, why should we have to deal with what's happening across the world? Why should we get involved? Whatever happens in Europe, that's their thing. That has nothing to do with us. We're over here. You know, are we going to get into a fight every time just because France, Britain, Russia, Belgium, these guys can't stop fighting other countries? No. You know, the problem is, too, it was an election year. So a lot of these senators were about to become, trying to get run for office again. So a lot of the people who voted for them are basically telling them, if you vote for this, I'm not voting for you in the next election. I'm going to go and vote for the other guy who's running against you. And you have to remember, these senators love their nice, cushy little government jobs. So they did not approve the Treaty of Versailles. Okay. Now, this next paragraph, if anything from this page of notes, you should remember, keep in the back of your head because it's going to play a role later on when we get to World War II. Since the League of Nations was weak, okay, there were some countries that joined, but they weren't like ultra strong like the United States and Britain and some of that. Um, so they decided not to use force against aggression. So if another country was threatening, let's say France, then they would say, okay, you know what? No, let's not fight. Let's not fight. Let's talk about this. Let's see if we can come to an agreement. Okay. That's going to play a huge role in a little bit when we get to World War II. All right. So if you look at the map on the left, where you see those big, kind of like purple, not, oh, well, purple pinkish color, right? You'll see Germany, Austria-Hungary, huge countries. That was before the war. Okay. Now, if you look at the picture on the right, you can see they got broken up. There are other countries that became countries because of World War One. So countries like Poland, East Prussia, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Czechoslovakia, uh, Romania got bigger, Yugoslavia, you know, Greece got bigger, Bulgaria, so some countries were created because of World War One, and some got more land. All right. So if you remember, uh, back in January, where we talked about how when Germany was really a powerhouse in the late 1800s, uh, they basically captured the French King Napoleon III. They captured his army, and they basically said, we're going to take this territory from you. We're going to make you pay us 5 billion francs, which is the German dollars. And France basically said, we're going to get revenge on you one day. Okay. One day we're going to get revenge on you. May not be tomorrow, maybe not be in another month or year, but one day we will get revenge on you. When World War One ended, they really wanted to stick it to Germany, and they had their chance, and they demanded strict enforcement on the Treaty of Versailles. They made sure to add the part of reparations against Germany, meaning Germany had to pay for everything in the war. Every country was basically told how much money did you spend on soldiers, food, the weapons, the destruction of your territory, all that stuff. Give us the bill. And then they would get all these bills from all these countries and basically went to Germany and said, here you go, you pay it all. That's your punishment on top of other stuff. So in 1921, France demanded the reparation money to fix and repair their country. They're like, okay, give us our money now. It's time for that payment. Start giving us the money. Germany's like, oh my God, because they had to basically pay up 132 billion marks. Again, that's German dollars, right? Marks. So that's equivalent to 33 billion US dollars back then. Um, I did the math in class, and including for inflation and some of that. In today's money, that 33 billion US dollars would be around almost 600 billion dollars. It's like 594 billion dollars. So basically 600 billion dollars that Germany had to pay. Okay. So they started making payments in 1921. But the thing is, the next year they basically stopped. And France was like, whoa, 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 where's our money? You're doing good for 1 year. Now what happened? And Germany's like, we're in a financial crisis. We don't have enough money. We barely have enough money to take care of our own people. You know, and France is like, no, 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 no. We don't want to hear excuses. We want our money. And Germany's like, well, we have none. We have no money. So France said, you know what? Fine then. You won't give us our money. We'll go to where we know we can make money. So they go to the Ruhr Valley. I believe I was saying that right. Ruhr, Ruhr. They're going to that valley because in that valley in Germany, there's factories, there's mining. They're finding gold, silver, copper, coal, things like that. Things that the French people know they can use to get money. Okay. Um, so they basically like we're invading that territory to get the money. Now, a student in class basically said, "Oh well, if they're invading, how come the Germans didn't shoot back at them and some of that?" Because here's the thing: remember, part of the agreement to end World War One was Germany could no longer have an army. So when the French marched into the Ruhr Valley, they didn't have an army. They couldn't fight back. So the German people actually did a pretty smart thing. Um, so once the French get there and they're like, okay, we own these mines, we own these factories now. The workers of those factories, of those mines, basically said, okay, we're on strike. We're not working. You can own the factories. You can take over them. You can take over the mines. But who's going to dig that stuff out? We're not. You can't force us. We're not going to get paid. So why should we do this? You know? Now, the thing is, the German government was not lying. They really were in a financial crisis. So the people, the German government, uh, did something that they shouldn't have. It's the stupidest thing you can do if you're in the government and you're in a financial crunch. They printed out more money. Now, some students in class in the past would be like, what's wrong with that? Just print out more money and pay off your debts. Boom, there you go. Here's the thing, when governments print out more money, that makes the value of the dollar go down. Okay? The dollar is no longer strong, it's weak. And that's why counterfeiters are really some of the worst criminals there are. Because the thing is, they're making your dollar worthless the more they make uh, copies of those dollars. They're making your dollar worthless. Okay? And it's because of this, inflation rose, and that means prices go higher. Okay? And if things get bad. Just to give you an example, in 1914, before the war started, if you had one US dollar, you would get like four German dollars. Okay? So not too bad. One US dollar, you get four German dollars. On November 1st, 1923, for one US dollar, you get 130 billion German dollars. Okay? Later that month, still in that 1923, that month of November 29th, $1, you now get 4.2 trillion marks. Now, thing is, I have some students in the past basically like, oh, dude, I would so be there. I'll be like, here's $10. Oh, I got all this money. I'm gonna spend money on this. Guys, you can't. You can't because that money is worthless. You might as well get your hand in the garbage can and dig out a bunch of trash and go, here, I'm going to buy a candy bar with this. That's how the money was. It's worthless. You see kids in this picture right here playing with it. It's like having just regular paper, tissue paper, things like this. It's worthless. You might as well use it as toilet paper. You'll get more use out of it. And I kid you not, a stack that big of money. You know what they could probably get with it? Maybe a loaf of bread. Okay. Two max. Two things of bread, two loaves of bread, max. That's it. And that's stretching it. They could probably definitely get one loaf of bread, but two, that's kind of stretching it. So the idea of like, oh, I have all this money, I'm rich. No, because the value of the dollar, the German dollar, is worthless. Okay. So that's the thing you have to remember. So when people counterfeit our money and there's more of that in circulation, that means the dollar gets worthless and more worthless and more worthless. Okay. So when the Germans tried to give the French that, worthless money, the French are like, we don't want it. That's worth nothing. We might as well get toilet paper, you know? And the Germans are like, well, we don't have anything else. We have no money. We're that's all we got. Just paper money. So in August 1924, a new repayment plan was created called the Dawes Plan. Okay. It was named after the chairman of the commission group to basically create a new repayment plan. And this dude was an American banker. And so here was the plan. America was going to loan $200 million to Germany. Okay. Now, with that $200 million, that would then make the German dollar worth a little bit more. Not like overwhelmingly, but just enough to make it, worth something. So then Germany would pay France their reparations, right? The money that they owed them. France would then, buy back war loans to the U.S. They would buy stuff from the United States, chairs, tables, whatever the United States is selling. Okay. And then America could then, put investors in both those countries. So Americans could now make money um, off of French companies, German companies, and they could make money that way. Okay. So everyone's kind of happy. The Germans' dollars are now worth something. The French are getting money that's worth something. And the United States is, the French and German are buying stuff from America. And the American people are able to invest in uh, overseas, in France and Germany to make more money. Okay. So everything was like, oh, this works out fine. This is a great plan. Sad thing is, this great plan that is helping so many European countries only lasts for 5 years. Things are going to go horribly wrong in 1929. And that's for the next lesson. All right. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. So with that being said, guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later, okay?